Hello everyone. Welcome to today's Ethics Ball podcast. Today we are discussing on the topic which everyone knows but no one thinks, which is tipping. Should we tip or not? And before begin, let's introduce ourselves. Yeah.
Hi, it's me Manish.
I am Shailesh. So it's Ranil.
I'm Anuja Karki,
And hey, I'm Mandip.
And it's me, Sabin.
and today uh will discuss. And before discussing, let's move to the history of tipping. Do you know about history of tipping?
No.
No idea about that thing. Yeah.
Tipping was started as a way to show appreciation for good service, and it was started from Europe, where wealthy people will give extra money to servants in big houses. And in 1800, wealthy Americans saw tipping in Europe and brought it back to US.
Oh, that's how it is started.
Yeah,
I had no idea
but
about that.
do you know at first Americans were not in favor of tipping, and I don't know how it.
Yeah, I listened about that as well.
Yeah. And it was started in hotels and restaurants, and wealthy people started giving giving tipping to the servers and all. So
Uh,
that's how it was started.
I thought it was started in April, but
Yeah.
I might have a misconception.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and when it started, I think just hours from the back then.
Yeah, I mentioned it's in 1800.
Oh, 1800.
Yeah. So, yes, US has some really messed up roots. Like started after Civil War.
Oh,
Oh,
how that was started.
Huh? How that was started? I mentioned like wealthy Americans from the
Oh, I get it.
yes,
I
yeah.
get it.
So they at first it was originated in Europe, and when they moved to Europe for visit, they saw the constant flare, and then they started tipping. So, what is your opinion about tipping? Like, how do you see tipping? How do you feel about tipping? Do you tip or not? Do you think tipping is good or not? So yeah, let's start from yeah.
yeah, I think tipping is good culture because we are showing our love, appreciation to the workers, employers who is working hard. Like, and what do you think, bro?
I think it's neither good or not bad. Like in my opinion, like it should not matter morally, because uh, um,
In my opinion, if the tips is distributed for all of the worker working for the restaurant, then it's good. If it's only taken by the customer service provider or the waiter, then I think so it's really bad because the food they serve us, it started from the dishwasher to the kitchen helper to the cook and then to waiter and finally to us.
Tipping just muddies the water, makes it seem like the customer is the one paying the worker, not the company. And it's very, very bad.
And when you look at other countries, it really shows it's not the only way to do things. Like we mentioned before, in some places, tipping isn't a big deal, and even forward open. Residents in those countries just pay their staff a proper wage and build it into the prices.
Exactly, man. It works just like that in other places, and it's supposed to work like that. It's not like the restaurant industry would collapse. It we got rid of tipping and just paid servers a decent hourly wage. Prices might adjust a bit, but it would be more transparent and predictable for everyone.
Think keeping is good culture, but it depends upon the situation as well. In some cases, like people want more tip, they pressurize the people. What do you think?
So in my case, I think I'm totally against tipping because I believe when you see in Japan's as I already so and Japan's and Australia, tipping is very rare because it's like kind of rude toward the servers. If you tip as a customers, it's kind of rude. It's like your boss doesn't pay you much. That's why I'm tipping. It's like that. So, but also they are providing great service. But in US, I don't know. Maybe
I think it's in the people of like US, like they are mentally built like that. Like they should tip. Yeah, like
Yes, cultural thing.
yeah, it's
More like
more like a cultural thing over here than like moral thing. Like they do it because they have been seeing other do it, and
they are
they just feel like that.
so. Do you think like tipping is influenced by how friendly a worker is?
Yeah, definitely it was like it will be first why if someone's come to me and just like be very rude to me and serve the food like is thrown on my table something like that, I'm not gonna tip him. Or if I tip him, like when if I tip him by some pressurized society, I'll tip him very less. So it is totally depend on how he treats me. And yeah, that's all.
So don't you think like tipping is totally based on appearance, gender, and other factors? And
It might be like it's depend on person to person. Because like for me, I usually don't say genders and personality. I just see the service. But for other, it might change. What's your opinion on that?
I believe that it's more like service than race, gender, say yes.
Yeah, same here. I also think that the service is the most. It doesn't matter what's that.
Yeah, yeah. Like, but we shouldn't be naive that it doesn't affect. Because in my opinion, it shouldn't. But people usually tip if they see gorgeous lady serving them or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
But like we should like
Exposure is bad.
yeah, we have to in like we have to like be considered that for others the like the gender and their personality matters. But for me, service might be the one thing.
so, by utilitarian perspective, we should do the things which benefit the most of the people. And
Yeah.
and if you see tipping, then it doesn't benefit most of the people. I will prove how.
Yeah.
Because tipping is only valid in very few restaurants. Like only wealthy people, wealthy customers tip most of the time.
Yeah.
And there are lots of workers who are working really hard. If you see in the back, the cook, the dishwashers,
Yeah.
the helper, they're really doing a great work, but also they are not getting tip.
I know the kitchen helper, cook, and the dishwasher are not getting tips, and the tips is only getting by the customer service provider. But the thing is that the kitchen helper and the other employee are getting more paid than the customer service provider. As I seen in the US, most of the customer service provider are the waiter, they are not paid hourly. They are just paid like $2-3 per hour. So their income is totally based on the tips. So if they will not get the tips, or the tips is divided equally to the all employees, then they will earn like $8-9 per hour, which is not fair.
Sometimes just the things like you can not hope to be good for each and everybody. Whoever's like in your perspective, you try to help them.
Mhm.
In this case, you can't see dishwasher washing the dish. You can't see cook cooking it. You can't see the truck that brought your food to that restaurant. So you don't tip them. But you saw the work of the waiter and other things.
Yeah.
And as like you can't do good for each and everybody, but you are trying to good for the one who you are in contact, or you know, like you can help them.
So, what do you think? Tipping maximize overall happiness, or does it create more stress? But because in my case, when I use my Uber rides,
Yeah.
sometimes the driver is normal people, normal,
Yeah.
and sometimes he or she gets extra nice. He is asking me my day. He's throwing some good funny jokes, and I feel like is he genuine? Is he genuine? That his real personality, or he just faking that to me just because he's expecting the tip? So that's very stressful for me as being a customer or being a consumer.
Yeah.
And I'm always thinking, should I tip or not? Should I tip less? Should I tip more? So because of that, I think this is kind of stressful. And I'm not the single customer. So what do you think?
Yes.
Should I face this?
As you mentioned that some Uber drivers talk to you
Mm,
frequently, some does not.
mm.
You like see some who doesn't talk to you, that's their personality, and some does talk to you, that's their personality. They might talk you in like in good way if they are expecting tip. It's some like some
Yeah, I really agree with you.
Yeah, I agree with that, bro.
Because I say personality is a major thing. I think it's more like personality than showing faking their expression to the customer. So it depend upon people, depend upon rider. As you have mentioned that yeah, sometimes you are a rider. So fake their mismatch. But I think that's personality more than faking very slow. What do you think?
If you do more for you, like if you drive fast, if you pick up. If he or she drive you a lot like longer than your trip, if they did anything extra, or that's good for you. I think you
Yeah.
should tip them.
So what do you think? Like tipping encourage best service or better service, or would people still provide good service even without tipping? So
So I think tipping doesn't affect any service. Like usually it's done in the last part of it. If you go to the restaurant, it is you tipped when you are done eating and everything. When you order something online and it's come to your front door, you tip him at that moment. The service does not get affected by the tip. And for any other instance, it might be true too. Like you are giving tip just to appreciate the work, not the work how it has been done or it will be done in future. But if in restaurant, if a waiter see a wealthy customer, he might act like he might expect tip and act
Yeah,
And put all
better.
efforts.
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I think tips will not influence the service.
yeah,
The main thing is tips will not influence.
should not. And I
Yeah,
don't
I'm with
think
that, bro. I'm with that.
But many places tip influence the service too.
Yeah, not all the places, but in the most places, I guess so.
Yeah.
Because I have experienced that on one. Like when I dressed like normal, they didn't treat me well. But
Mhm.
when I dressed like a white, like coat, suit, pants, they treat me well. Like
Yeah.
I was spending something more.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the nature of the woman. That's we can't do anything about that. And
so what do you think? Like even if the service is bad, so we tip or not? But because workers depend on tips for their living. So what do you
it's just a personal thing in my opinion. It shouldn't matter if like if
like? So even if the service is bad, will you tip or not?
or like I won't and I don't know others should not.
yeah,
But
It
if
won't.
if they are not treating me well, then
what it
it's
is,
just
yeah,
my personal
the nature.
Yeah.
Nature. And even they are getting paid by the employer too. Why you have to blame them if they didn't treat us well?
But what's your opinion on the thing? Like a lot of cases in a lot of restaurants,
Mm.
and the because of customers who are really rude, who are really disrespectful towards the appearance and gender and all. So because of the rude customers and because of the tipping system, the servers cannot raise their voice because they expect to be tipped, and because of the tipping, the servers have to face these discriminations and such rude customers. So what is your opinion on that?
So like see, it's more like a cultural thing over here. They expect it from you. And recently in Florida, some woman stabbed some customers
What?
14 or 15 times over $2 tip. Yeah. Not just tipping, the amount also matter over here. They usually expect you to tip from anywhere from 10 to 25% of the actual billing. And when you tip less, they see as like begging or something. They expect they are not begging, so they expect certain amount.
Yeah.
And in Florida case, the woman tipped $2 to the delivery girl and she stabbed him like 14 or 15 times.
Yeah, that's real bad.
That better system over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is tipping a moral obligation, or should good service be expected even without tipping or even without extra payment?
Tipping it should not impact these services. I think it's it's not moral obligation. I think. What do you think?
Yeah, same thought, bro.
Yeah, it's not a moral obligation. You're like they are already getting paid for what they are doing. So it's more like you appreciating their work than your moral responsibility.
But
If you don't tip also, it's neither good nor bad. It just flows.
can't we appreciate just by gestures, hand gestures, body gestures, to like saying thank you? Do we? Is it
It's not
compulsory?
necessary, but it depends upon people. It depends upon customer.
Yeah, if you talk rudely to that server and give $100 tips, that doesn't matter. If you talk rudely and don't respect him and
Mhm.
give a lot of work to them, and we show anger to them and give tip, that does not mean anything. Happiness is also a thing, not all money matter. Always not money is matter.
So
What do you think?
so over here in US, like they usually tip the low earning households or the employees. They think that by providing the money as a tip, they are helping them in certain way. So for Anuja's perspective, she was telling that why don't we just give them good gestures in return of something tip, but that won't help them financially. Usually over in US, they tip because like they think they need that money. So gesture won't help them financially.
Yeah, I think we have to do the both, like good
Yeah.
gesture and tipping too.
That's if they provide good service, we have to tip them sometime.
Yeah, even they don't provide good service, it's our nature to appreciate, to say something to that.
But I prefer not giving tip if they don't.
Yeah,
provide
not
service.
tip, just a gesture, good
Yeah,
gesture.
which is very necessary.
Yeah.
So, do you think there is some kind of unfair power dynamics between the customers and between the servers because of the tipping, and
Whom and whom?
between the customers and the servers, unfair the power dynamics because the customers like feel like powerful.
Oh, in that sense, I don't think there would be anything.
But I also don't think that.
Yeah, but the customer thinks they are superior. I think in their opinion, customer are the superior. They are the boss here who are paying for the service. Like customer think they are the boss and server feels so low. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because customer thinks that the server wage, the server salary
See.
is determined by them.
So in my perspective, that's totally the server thinks the customer is the superior and customers thinks the waiter are superior. In my
Yeah, yeah.
personal opinion, like they both think in opposite direction, I guess.
Yeah.
Like one thing, the other one is like I have to treat because he's my customer, and the customer thinks like he's providing me everything. I should treat him,
Yeah.
treat him good.
When the profit all goes to the business owner, it's like, yeah.
But some people might tip less because of personal bias, like race or gender. And I also think tipping is also dependent on the customer mood because if you are having a good day, you are having great, great thing, and you tip more, even if the service was not good, because just because you are feeling good. But if sometimes the service might be good, but you are not feeling good as a customer, if you are having bad day, then you want tip. So I think the mood also determines. So what do you think?
Yeah, it does. Like it's more like a 50-50 things.
Yeah.
Like it depends on the service as well as the personality and your mood at that day. So
Yeah. If I go to the restaurant and I'm feeling happy, and if service give me good service, yeah, I definitely give him tips.
Yeah.
And if I in bad mood, I may not give him. It depends on the situation and
If food is not good, why should I tip? I will not give. If food is good, I will not give.
Mm,
What do you think?
So
You asked us, but what do you think?
about food.
Enough food, like giving tip if the we are
should
not
we change the topic and
No, but so I feel like the businesses the businesses are not, you say that tipping is kind of extra, you're paying for the extra food, but what I think is businesses are not paying enough for the customers as their wages because they think that they have tip. So because of that, a lot of servers, a lot of workers don't get enough wage, and because the businesses are thinking they will get on the tip. So what do you think about
I
that?
think businesses, ways and tip are completely different part in my perspective.
Oh yeah.
Tipping is different thing and ways is different thing. Even of
Absolutely, absolutely.
what do you think?
Yeah, so it's a different thing. Well, they are expecting from us. What can I do? We have to give, I think so. And what do you think, Rabin, bro?
yeah, so tipping and salaries are two different things in my opinion. And their life should not depend on tipping.
Yeah.
Like that's like fluctuating thing is not constant. So salary is constant over time. So you might get good tip one day and not any tips other day. It doesn't mean you sleep hungry the other day. So in my opinion, if you are expecting tip for your livelihood, so that should be changed.
So since we are at the end of our discussion, so what do you think? What is the solution for that? Like, what is the proper solution
So I don't
for
think
everything, like for discrimination, for like unfair ways, unfair dynamics, everything? What will be the best solution or better solution which we can follow in the future or and the so what do you think?
I don't think there's any solution for this one. It's more like a mindset of people over here. We don't tip in my home country usually and in other country as well. So if you don't like, there might be two perspectives. Some wants to give tip, some does not wants to tip. And someone are being pressurized to tip due to social things. And to solve this one, like it's two part. If you don't want a tipping culture, then you just move in that direction. If you want tipping culture and to be better, you move in that direction.
Yeah, bro. I used to tip because I learned from a family, and I will only tip if the food is good, if the service is good, if the mood is good, but not tipping every time. Because I am also a woman, I have also feelings. If I feel bad, if I don't like the service, why should I give? But I used to give the service a lot. I used to give a tip a lot. I mean,
Yeah, I think tipping culture should be improved. Like
Actually-
the service taker shouldn't be judged by the amount of tip he have given, or if he also not give tip, he should not be judged.
And also, I feel like the businesses should give really fair wages to the workers. And yeah.
yeah, which is got in our hands.
For a different part, I think.
So yeah, we realized that tipping is always a complicated issue. And yeah, so that's all for today's episode. I hope our discussion was insightful. And thank you so much, everyone, for your great perspectives. And yeah, so yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you everyone for having me.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Bye. See.